So let's take a tour of our last assignment in English 121. So essay number 3 is our argumentative essay. And as you know, you've been working up to this assignment by creating your research proposal, creating your exploratory blog posts, and then most recently, your annotated bibliography. So now it's time to jump in and join the conversation, answer your research question, and write a formal academic essay. So we're going to start by going to our English 121 D2L site, go to Content. Once you are in Content on the black navigation bar at the top of your screen, you're going to scroll down to Assignment Guidelines. From Assignment Guidelines, we're going to go to the very end and find our Argumentative Essay Guidelines. So the argumentative essay, its purpose, just like I said, you've been listening to a lot of voices about this particular issue of yours, and now it's time for you to join the discussion. So it is time to argue for one specific answer to your research question. Your goal is to progress the conversation, to stand up for your position or side on this issue and respond to your opposition. They really are the heart of this conversation, this skeptical person or group of people who are opposed to your particular perspective on this issue. So you are now, it says, going to be relying on an argumentative thesis statement, which is your claim or your answer to the question to keep you focused, but you're also going to keep integrating all of that fantastic outside research that you've been doing, the scholarly credible sources that you found through the Front Range Library databases and in your searches online. And your goal is to represent that really diverse, multi-sided conversation that is happening about your topic. So your audience, you're writing for your educated, skeptical academic peers. You want to definitely maintain your credibility. You need to be using a formal academic tone in this essay. And I've uploaded an example essay for you as well as a video tour of that particular essay that a colleague of mine did. I think it's an excellent example of what I'm looking for, and I'll show you where that is before the end of our screencast here. So with formal academic tone, you want to write in third person. You don't want to have any I, me, my, certainly no you, no finger wagging in this particular essay. You also are going to be focused on working with your opposition, because in order to be taken seriously as you discuss these issues, you have to be able to, as we've talked about or will talk about, you have to be able to acknowledge what the other side or sides think and believe about your issue. You also need to have some moments where you accommodate or make space for what they believe and feel to be true about this issue. Where can you find common ground? And then finally, you need to refute what it is that your opposition has to say. This is a respectful conversation that you are having with those who have different perspectives from you. Your required research, of course, is that you need to have 2 to 3 articles from the Front Range Library databases and 1 to 2 credible website articles or website sources that you integrate and weave into your argument and discussion. These can be the same sources that you explored in your blog posts and your annotated bibliography, as long as they are rich and deep enough and from multiple perspectives. You are certainly welcome to do more research if you like. And then finally, you will need to have a thesis statement for this. That's what drives this entire assignment. It's an argumentative thesis statement, and it is the answer to your research question that you have been exploring all this time. It's a clear claim that shows readers where you stand on the issue and why it is significant. So there's some examples here below, and we'll be working on that this week as well to make sure that everyone has a strong thesis statement. And then, of course, since you're integrating the voices of others into your work, you need to make sure that you are citing those individuals or organizations or sources properly through in-text citations and then corresponding works cited page entries. And we have a lot of resources for that here on D2L. We also have a lot in our textbook. So it is important to make sure that you are not inadvertently plagiarizing when you work on this essay. This next section walks you through the structure of the essay from the introduction paragraph to the body paragraphs and the conclusion. Your introduction is where you are going to focus on the issue at hand and why it is important, what's at stake, why we need to make progress on this issue, and lead up to your claim or thesis statement. your body paragraphs, you really are going to be focused on what do those skeptical others need from you? What do they need to hear first? Do they need some background information? Do they need something to understand a particular component of this issue? Where do you stand and why? Because obviously we need to know what your stance is. And then why do people disagree with you? And this is again where you're going to acknowledge, accommodate, and then eventually refute what it is they have to say. By the time you get to your conclusion paragraph, you should be zooming back out, big picture. So at the end of the day, why does this issue matter? This is where you answer the question, so what and who cares? So what is the big picture? This is not simply, let me sum up what I said. This is where you really want to bring home your argument, to make it sizzle, to make sure that your readers understand why your particular perspective on this debate is the way that's going to make progress on this issue. And then finally, of course, you'll end with a works cited page. So a quick look at logistics. Your essay needs to be at least 5 full pages, and you know that means all the way down to the bottom of the page, and at most 6 full pages. That is not including your works cited page. That's a separate page. At the end of your essay, it does not count towards your essay page count. You also need to have those 2 to 3 Front Range Library database articles and 1 or 2 credible web sources. Everything needs to be cited in MLA style. The rest of this, obviously, you're familiar with at this point. Deadlines are all in our course calendar and, of course, in our weekly checklists. And the rubric for this assignment is in the Dropbox folder. So let's go take a quick peek at that. If you go to Dropbox in the black navigation bar at the top of your screen and go to essay number 3, argument, you will see, when I get it up here, the rubric for this particular assignment. So it looks just like all of the other ones. You'll be able to submit your essay there when you are ready and take a look at the rubric anytime throughout this process. And then finally, I wanted to show you where you can find that example essay. If you go to week 9, you will see example student argumentative essay. I have it in 2 different formats, a Word version and a PDF, but this video link right here by my colleague Amy Sutcliffe, she walks you through this particular example student argumentative essay. So take some time to read through this example and then watch Amy's video and see how you too can write a fantastic, strong, powerful, persuasive argumentative essay.